And so, once again, we come back around to the end of the year. And honestly, this year has been one of the best years for film I've seen in a long time. I'm really glad because this is also the most movies I've seen during the year. So without any more delay, here are my picks for the... Yeah, even though there were some bangers this year, there was definitely a lot of shitty movies along the way. Starting at number 10 with Dumb Money, number 9, The Boogeyman, number 8, Perpetrator, number 7, Hypnotic, number 6, Strays. The only reason I watched this film was because I needed something a little creepy to put on in the afternoon, and to my surprise, this ended up being so fucking terrible. Everything down to the editing, the acting, the script, just about everything in this film is utter trash. It does no justice to the original. In fact, it kind of just disrespects it, and yeah, I absolutely hated this. In a year of Marvel's downfall, I wasn't expecting their lowest to be as laughably bad as it was. This seemed to be the first one released this year that made the general audiences question what Marvel has been putting out. After Guardians 3, I'm definitely not going to see any more Marvel films. There's nothing here I care about anymore, and I would rather spend my time seeing better movies. MODOK is laughably bad. This film has to be the ugliest movie ever made, and it seems like nobody cared about making this movie. It's a Winnie the Pooh horror movie. Everything in this is trash. I just wanted to turn it off thousands of times while watching it. It's literal brain rot. Once again, in a year where audiences are questioning the state of superhero movies, DC comes out with the biggest piece of shit I've seen in the last 3 years. And don't even get me started about Ezra Miller, who plays the most annoying, uninteresting character in a film to date. I'm gonna use this film's DVD as a fucking coaster. The Outwaters is a found footage horror film that attempts to do surrealist and terrifying horror, but doesn't show or do anything for about 80% of the film. It's lazy and it's terrible. Before I even saw this, I recall a lot of people online claiming it was a horror masterpiece and how terrified they were while watching it. There's nothing remotely decent about this film. It's abysmal. And if you like this movie, you're a little bitch. Alright, no more negativity. Let's get into the best of the year. Before we get into it, I want to share some honorable mentions that didn't make it into the top 10. John Wick 4, Infinity Pool, The Killer, Dream Scenario, Mission Impossible, Barbie, Sanctuary, and Skinamarink. Also, unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to see Past Lives, The Boy and the Heron, Blackberry, The Zone of Interest, and Passages. I think these all would have at least landed into the top 15. Number 10, When Evil Lurks. Number 9, The Iron Claw. Number 8, Killers of the Flower Moon. Number 7, Anatomy of a Fall. Number 6, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I wasn't expecting this film to resonate with me as much as it did. Everything in this film is so well done. I also love Alexander Payne's other films, including Election. And this just really hit it out of the park with me. It's funny, it's beautiful, the film's 70s aesthetic is fantastic, and it will be a new Christmas time classic for me in the future. Also, there's a handshake in this film that is more emotional than most hugs I've seen in movies. Unsurprisingly, this film was my bread and butter when it came out. The duo that directed this, Michael and Danny Philippou, also known as Raka Raka, are two creators I've been following since I was in middle school. They have such a great understanding of how to shoot a scene, what to include, and how to deliver some of the most brutal scenes to date. It's fantastic, especially for breakout star Sophie Wilde, who delivered a very committed and incredible performance. I cannot wait to see more from everyone who worked on this film. Seeing this for the first time was like getting in a car accident. Wait, did I actually write that? Yeah, this film is phenomenal. Ari Aster is 3 for 3 now with all of his feature films, and he's probably one of the best directors working today. His style is so on point with each film he does, and it really shows in Beau's Afraid. This film is equally as horrific as it is hilarious, Joaquin Phoenix is incredible as Bo. I think he really connected with the character and delivered such a realistic performance as someone who is really scared about the world around him. Nathan Lang as Roger is probably one of my favorite characters this year. He brings such a great on-screen presence and is absolutely hilarious. It's no surprise that this film really struck home with me. Nolan's style is something I'll never get sick of, and this film just blew me away. Nolan's decision to make a film about arguably the most important person on the planet, and then make it so exhilarating is why I love this film so much. The 3 hours absolutely fly by when watching this movie. I don't know how anyone could not get invested into this film. This was a box office smash this summer, and it makes so much sense. Cillian Murphy's performance is outstanding. I really hope he receives an Academy Award for this role because, just wow. Add on the addicting score by Ludwig Göransson, and you got yourself a fantastic movie, which was my #1 of the year until I saw... Oh! In a year where I had several #1 most hyped movies of the year, this was #1. Poor Things is such a feast, visually and audibly. The framing of this film is not only fascinating, but inspiring. Having these odd angles with fisheye lenses and vignette framing wouldn't normally work, and would come off as dumb, but just works here. It absolutely works. Pair that with the most beautifully haunting score all year, from Jerskin Fendrix, and you get a fucking masterpiece. I find Yorgos as one of the most interesting directors today. His films have such a distinct style over any of the films I've talked about today, and I really think his creative choices will be studied in the future. There are also a lot of films that have attempted to copy his style, but Yorgos managed to top himself again and go so above and beyond that there's no way in hell anyone's gonna be able to copy Poor Things. This film is funny as hell, every actor delivers a very committed performance, and I want every actor in this to get an award, especially Emma Stone. Holy shit! I don't think she's done anything remotely close to this in her career, but she not only is fearless in this role, but really embodied the character Bella through her journey in finding herself in this strange world she was brought into. This film is like a horny Frankenstein film on drugs, and if that doesn't sell you on this film, then, yeah, it's probably not for you. But for me, this was the best film this year, and rests within some of my favorite films of all time. Whew! Oh, that was a lot. But now that the list is out of the way, I'm gonna go rewatch Poor Things again. See you next year.